Daniel, you can start.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to today's webinar titled Credit Management, Local and International Perspective. This session is being organized by the Gozo Business Chamber in collaboration with the Malta Association of Credit Management and AW Holding International, and with the support of our corporate sponsor, Bank of Valletta. You are encouraged to submit your questions at any point during the session under the Q&A function. We will address them during the dedicated segment at the end of the webinar. This morning's webinar will focus on a crucial area for all types of businesses, and particularly for SMEs and micro enterprises. How to manage credit effectively both locally and internationally. Today, we have a distinguished panel of speakers who will provide practical insights on how to minimize credit risks, manage cross-border transactions, and improve financial resilience. Nonetheless, before starting, I would now like to invite first the President of the Gozo Business Chamber, Mr. Michael Gallia, to deliver the opening address.
Good morning and welcome to today's webinar titled Credit Management, Local and International Perspectives. Organized by the Gozo Business Chamber in collaboration with the Malta Association of Credit Management, AW Holdings International, and Bank of Valletta. It is a pleasure to open this session, which addresses a subject that is highly relevant to our business community in Gozo, particularly our SMEs and micro enterprises who often face unique challenges in managing credit and maintaining a stable cash flow. On behalf of the Gozo Business Chamber, I thank all the speakers and collaborators for making this initiative possible. I also thank each of you for attending this webinar.
Thank you, Michael, for your intervention and for underlining the importance of today's topic. We now move to our first presentation by Mr. Josef Busuttil, Director General of the Malta Association of Credit Management. Mr. Busuttil will provide an overview of the credit management landscape in Malta, including the challenges commonly faced by SMEs, and offer practical strategies tailored to the local context.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Daniel and Michael. I'll try to be very practical when it comes to managing credit in Malta and Gozo for SMEs. As Michael said, I'm the Director General of the Malta Association of Credit Management. Just to give you in a nutshell what we do, MACM is a not-for-profit organization. We deliver a number of webinars, a number of lectures. We organize seminars and conferences, always to promote good credit management practices in the local market. Besides that, we also serve as a lobby group for the trade creditors here in Malta, and we also provide data. We provide data to our members so that they will have tools, effective and efficient tools, to analyze the creditworthiness of their customers, which I will be talking about very soon. So let's start with the very basic question. What is credit? Because sometimes we tend to sell on credit without even thinking what credit is all about. So what is credit? Unfortunately, we usually give negative connotations to the credit function and to credit itself. For example, we soon, the word credit soon remind us of the collection of dues, for example, or problematic customers, the customers who are not paying us, late payments, overdue accounts. We often associate the credit function with disputes, for example, with the sales team. People are sending us checks to pay, and these checks are being dishonored. So, payment defaults, some bankruptcies, unfortunately. We think about legal actions, court warrants, and all this sort. In fact, I remember when I was delivering a presentation some time ago at Antwerp University in Belgium to the business community in Belgium. And one of the owners, one of these business owners told me that the credit function of his company is the ugly stepchild of the finance department. And I was really angry about it. I was not happy about this comment at all. Because the credit function should be, first of all, far from being that function collecting money all the time. The credit function, in fact, in 2025, at this day and age, should focus more on profitable credit sales, and not only credit sales, but profitable credit sales. The word profitable is underlined and bold. And the credit function, the people employed in the field of credit should be skilled enough to gain and sustain good customer relationships. We have to remember that together with our sales team, people involved in credit are always in contact with customers from the very start of our business relationship till the very end. And therefore, all businesses trading on credit, selling on credit, should invest in people, in employees working in the field of credit management. In fact, let's start by thinking outside the box. What are we actually doing when we sell on credit? And I ask a question. Would anyone hearing me, listening to me today, would anyone share his credit card and give me his PIN number? Is anyone willing to share with me his credit card, his personal credit card, together with the PIN number? Remember, I will be in Gozo this weekend, and I don't have enough budget. So I can tell you who am I can give you some details, but will you give me the credit card and the PIN number? Definitely not. But what are we actually doing when we are selling on credit? Okay, let's analyze, or rather identify, what credit is all about here in Malta in 2025, today. First of all, credit is becoming more expensive. It is becoming rationed. It is not very easy, or it's not easy as it was some years ago. We go to our bankers and financing our business. It's becoming rationed. If we had to think about it, the majority of transactions, between 80 to 90% statistically, involve payment at a later date. And sometimes we don't realize that when our customers are paying us by check, there is some credit involved, because the fact that I am being paid by a check, it doesn't mean that that check will not bounce. So there is an element of credit in there as well. If you had to analyze the balance sheet of a company selling on credit, AR, or as we usually refer to it, debtors account, is the largest liquid asset because it represents around 40% of our total assets. So we are talking here about a large chunk of our assets. As we all know, I've been in this business for the past 25 years now. More customers are demanding, they are expecting credit from their suppliers. They are literally shopping around for suppliers who are giving the most beneficial credit terms on the island. And from our survey that we conduct every year, the DSO ratio, which means how long our customers are paying us, are taking to paying us, the DSO ratio across the Maltese business, as at 31st December 2024, last year, was 79 days almost. So if we had to compare the average DSO here in Malta with the average DSO in Europe, which is 62 days, we pay a little bit late. However, it doesn't concern me much because we are trading in a very small business economy. It is an island economy. We know each other very well, so it doesn't bother me much. But we have to realize that having 79 days for the customer to pay us, it is quite a long term. Okay, where are we failing then? Well, I think from what I hear, from what I gather from the business community here in Malta and Gozo, is that we are ignoring, especially the SMEs, we are ignoring good credit management practices we tend to sell without going through good credit management practices, which in a nutshell, credit management practices consists of four main functions: the credit sales approval, invoicing, past due AR management or debtors management, and communication. Let's go through them very quickly, one by one. Credit sales approval. What should we do here? When the salespeople come to us and they tell us, look, we have an application. One of our prospective customer is asking for credit. Fine. So first of all, are we using a proper credit application form? At MACM, we have a template, which you're more than happy to ask for this template, and I will send it to you by email if you're not a member, because if you're a member, you can access it through our website. Having that credit application form signed and filled in, we now can analyze or do our homework, do our due diligence on our prospective customer. First of all, do you know this customer? Do you know the customers of that customer? Because if the customers of this customers go haywire, obviously our customer will eventually suffer. Are we listening to our customers, us who are working in the field of credit management, in the credit function? How often are we meeting our customer? We need to understand his needs. Then we have to analyze the credit worthiness of our customer. How risky is this customer? Is this customer, are we convinced that this customer can pay us back in time? Does this customer have a history, for example, of late paying other suppliers? Is there any history of this customer at the law courts? For example, any suppliers are already filing lawsuits or issuing court warrants against this customer? And by the way, this data you can access it if you are members of MACM. You can get a comprehensive report about this customer or this prospective customer. Once we do that homework, that due diligence, then we need to come up with how much credit we can grant and the credit terms that we can provide to that customer. Invoicing is another important factor when it comes to credit management. I always suggest that an invoice should be TACU, TACU. What does this mean? It should be timed. The more efficient you are, the earlier you send that invoice to your customer, the earlier the customer will pay you. If you don't send your invoice, the customer will just ignore it and will just ignore your payment and will not pay you. So you have to send the invoice timely. Another factor in the invoice, it should be accurate. Don't tell, with an inverted commas, your customer not to pay you because the invoice is not accurate. The invoice should be clear, should be accurate, showing the exact quantities, the prices. If you're giving any discounts, it should be there. An invoice should also be complete with all the payment terms, conditions of sale, VAT number of your company and the customer's VAT. It should be complete. And it should be understandable. An invoice should be readable. It should be a document without any marketing and promotional promotional logos, for example. An invoice should be kept as simple as possible for the customer to understand and pay us. Now let's go through the next stage in credit management process. Past due accounts receivable management. We need to manage our accounts receivables now. And we, in order to manage accounts receivable, we need to categorize our existing customers according to their paying behavior. And we should have 4 categories. First of all, we have customers who pay promptly without any need of chasing them. These are the best customers. Obviously, they don't give us a lot of hassle, and therefore make sure that you don't go to bed if one of these customers leave us. Because these customers are the best customers, the prompt payers. Then we have another category. We have those customers who are also extremely important for our organization. These are very good customers as well. Don't go to sleep if we lose one. But they are slow payers. They are slow payers not because they don't want to pay us. They are slow payers because they are more focused on selling their own product. They are more focused on manufacturing, for example, their products. And therefore, we need to find some time to pick up that phone and call them. We need to remind them. As soon as we remind them, we receive our payments. So these customers are also extremely important in this category. The third category are those customers who are not paying us because they perceive, whether they are perceiving well or not, but they perceive, in their minds, they perceive that there is a dispute somehow, somewhere in the line. And don't expect these customers to pay you unless the disputes are resolved. And therefore, it is our responsibility, people who are working in the field of credit management, to listen to our customers. And if they think that there is a dispute, we should immediately, in the most efficient manner, solve that issue so that they will pay us. And these are also very important clients for our business. Don't go to sleep if you lose one of these. The fourth category are the debtors, I call them. I call them the fraudsters. These are a very small percentage, hopefully not more than 2%, who are only there to these people are always lying to us. They don't, unfortunately, keep promises. These are the fraudsters. Don't waste time with these people. Give them to your lawyer if need be. Report them to MACM so that there will not be other suppliers who will supply them. These are the small percentage of our customers. But it is important to categorize our customers because our resources are limited. And therefore, we need to spend our time where it pays most. Communication. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of communication with our customers, with our internal customers. Our internal customers are our colleagues, because if there is some sort of dispute, we need to communicate well with our internal customers so that we resolve any conflict with our customers in order to get paid as much as possible, as early as possible. The last part of credit management, cash collection. First of all, credit management is not cash collection. Cash collection is just the last part of the whole process. And therefore, don't expect to get paid on time if you missed the first 3 or 4 steps in the credit management processes. And therefore, we need to know to know our customers. We need to know the customers of our customers before collecting our dues, because otherwise we won't collect on time. You have to monitor all the time the creditworthiness of your customers, because unfortunately, the situation can change for that customer. And again, MACM has a very important tool for its members. You can monitor literally all your customers on a daily basis. You receive emails directly on your mailbox telling you if there are any changes with any of your customers. So it is important to monitor on a daily basis your existing customers. You have to know why the customer is paying you late. Don't expect to get paid if you don't know the reason why the customer is paying you late. Because you cannot negotiate with that customer if that is the case. So we need properly skilled employees, even when it comes to cash collection. We cannot rely this important function, this whole process of credit management, in the hands of unskilled employees. First of all, it's not good for that employee, and it's not good for the organization itself, because here we're talking about cash flow, and cash flow is the lifeblood of any organization. Then, for cash collection purposes, you need to form part of a credit circle, because from what we hear about the market, we learn a lot. We learn a great deal of information. We learn a great deal of information which help us collect money in a more efficient and effective manner. And lastly, but not least, if there are any conflicts between the sales and the credit team, we have to be careful and resolve any issues. The credit team and the sales team should work hand in hand they should pull the same rope in the same direction, not in the opposite direction. And this is extremely important. And I'll finish my presentation, and I will let Mr. Ayman to present his own presentation now after me. I have some important issues for you to ponder about. As I said, cash flow is the lifeblood of our firm, and credit management is all about being proactive. Don't be reactive. You have to be proactive. Okay? So it is important that you manage, you control your internal processes, you monitor your debtors, you monitor your customers, you manage your customers extremely efficiently and effectively. You should enhance long-term customer relationship, because customer relationship is key when it comes to credit management and cash collection. We need to identify financially solvent customers in order to maintain sound cash flow and sustain good profit. I thank you very much. If there are any questions, please, you can ask questions that you would like to ask, and I would be happy to reply to any of your questions.
Thank you, Josef. Thank you, Mr. Busuttil, for that insightful and informative presentation.
Daniel, Josef, please.
Josef, all right, Josef. Josef is always a very good speaker, and given also his extensive experience in lecturing, not only in Malta now, but internationally. So it was a pleasure and an honor to have him with us today.
The pleasure was all mine, Daniel, especially to my beloved Gozitins. I love Gozo a lot. Tomorrow I'll be there.
Thank you, Josef.
The conclusion of presentation is showing that you love it.
Of course I do. It's the best part of the Maltese island.
Yes, definitely. As Josef rightly said, if you have any Q&A, please feel free to post them. We will be targeting them at the end. But we now shift the focus to the international dimension of credit management with a joint presentation of Mr. Ayman Al-Wadi, Group Executive Chairman, and Mr. Kishan Rupani, Cross-Border Operations Manager at AW Holding International. They will be sharing the strategies on managing credit risks when conducting business with international partners, and tools available for credit evaluation, legal protection, and dispute resolution across borders. We now know that business entities, both here all over the island, Malta and in Gozo, are now importing from abroad, importing raw materials, using services. So when we are saying the function of credit management, we do not have to see only the local perspective, but we have to see the international perspective. So Mr. Ayman Al-Wadi and Mr. Rupani, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sabah al khair wa marhaba. I understand Maltese language got some Arabic taste, so I thought to have the start with it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. As I came to know from our network, a lot of colleagues and business associates from different time zone attending with us today. Thank you for the organizers, and thank you, Josef, for the very much practical, on-ground, hand, and informative session you shared with us. And thank you very much for the audience makes a time to listen for us. And I wish, and this is my personal goal today, that any of the audience to take some takeaways would make a difference in their abroad and domestic credit risk handling. Malta or Gozo or Dubai or Riyadh or whatever city we know about. It is not the world. World is very much bigger out of the cities. We witness and we know. I would ask a control so I can just sing and dance with the audience myself. Fine. So the word, what the word is awaits. Just sorry. Fine. A way of introduction. I believe I missed to introduce myself. My name is Ayman Al-Wadi, a group executive chairman of AW Holding. A big and humble and small journey. Started from Dubai to Abu Dhabi to Saudi Arabia to Oman to Qatar to Egypt for past 28 years. Out of the 28 years and precisely the last 15 years, we went very much like international. And this is what I started with. Gozo or Dubai or Riyadh or Doha or whatever city in this world, it is not the world. The world is very much bigger than this. And as such, we witness, and most of you would agree with me that we saw business transaction. And let me just say it from the learnings we got here in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. Dubai itself got more than 204 nationalities, means 204 business practices, business culture. And as such, we didn't see those transaction needs a visa or need a permission to fly from region to region. And the business has no borders, as we witness and we saw all over my 28 years of experience. And as such, I can tell, and you can agree with me, that business has no borders. These domestic trades or whatever type of business or entrepreneur or SMEs in particular, where today we're trying actually to add the note 4, the domestic business is not enough. And what we witness in the last years, the world became a little village. So names from Maltese or any other city restaurants, I find them here in Dubai. We find some like other businesses in Riyadh operating in Qatar. In Egypt, we find chain of businesses, actually they are operating in Saudi Arabia. So the reality, the word is became a little village, and the domestic economies, it is not enough to the SMEs or the startup or to the traders to do business. And what we saw all over the years, a successful story, and even to an extent, from that startup in one of like those regions, expanded to more regions, and now they are like a unicorn. And this is opportunity to trade out of the border, come with a very much like serious potential and business and business risk associated. So how can today we just like advise the audience, especially the startup? So if we said, and we take an example of like Gozo or the Maltese SMEs, what like they need, what actually our advisor from the experience that you need to go abroad and it has a potential. There is a lot of successful story. You need to learn those successful story. You need to understand in the first place all the risk associated to start doing business abroad. And as such, and from our experience, we can tell how much today our support to the SME is important. Economies, governments, they put funds, they put educational. We see a lot of non-profit organization starting actually just to empower, because SMEs, startups, and trades, and all these type of like businesses, it is very much important to the economy. In fact, this is the backbone of the economy. And as such, We will be really happy just actually to support such, because economy, anything good for the economy, it is good for every one of us. As such, and through the years of experience, if you seriously willing to go outside, you need to learn about the region. You need to know about the people you're going to deal with. You need to understand the rules, the regulations, how the credit is easy to give the credit, but how hard to get the credit. In domestic level, there are challenges. Yusuf today explained how difficulty within a domestic region to collect back your credit. And he described it well. It is like the blood. If you lose and bleed credit, there is a huge possibility for insolvency and actually a threat to the business cycle. So what about when you deal in a broad business? And here I would like just to say one important element, what we learned out of thousands files we handled over the 28 years, that you cannot as an entrepreneur or a startup or an SMEs put the hat of the lawyer, put the hat of the compliance officer, put the hat of the credit manager, put the hat of to be a debt collector. So as such, when you go for any region, you need to have partners. And preferable if it's like one partner can help you before entering the region to understand the laws, the regulations, and much, much more. So here, like my best advice, go abroad, understand the regions, see the similar successful story, get the first think partner in success. What means? A good lawyer knows your business model and business dispute resolution. Know a credit manager where they can let you know how to give the credit, how much the credit, and what type of information, how to assess the credit. And know a lawyer where he tell you like what in all aspects the jurisdiction and the laws and the condition and terms will affect your business. So get a partner in success. Do not put all the hats one right after the other, going away from the main goal of your business, going away from expanding and developing your businesses. And as such, this is actually just like a quick takeaways, not to take much. So learn more about the region, how much the credit, who to give a credit, and is it like every how long you need to keep an eye on the trading credit factors, the threats. Partners, do not enter the region before you sign with a debt collection, with a lawyer, with a credit, and just focus in your business. Do not even to an extent look at the receivable. Be smart and slim. Put the receivable management responsibility in some trusted expert in your line to handle it, because it is all about how to give the credit, because you're going to end up with a pain how to collect back that credit. Don't wear all the hats, as I said. You won't be able to be a lawyer and a compliance and a credit manager and a business development and expanding and doing deals. I mentioned about the receivable management and the cross-border in high level. And if it did work with you as taking a model from Gozo or Malta to Dubai, if you enter Oman, try to do another completely separate study. Oman, not Dubai. Riyadh, not Doha. Doha, not Qatar. So Doha, not Kuwait. So if you get to a region, and I saw a lot of like serious successful multi-union business in Dubai, and I can tell that there is a bridge and there is a potential. And today I would like just to conclude my remarks with be focusing in your business. What is the addition value to your business and to the client and to the region you are in, and be slim and smart and have partner in success handling and managing all your risk. This is in high level due to the time constraint. I can just tell from our experience best advice to our colleague attending today from the SMEs or the startup or the traders. This is a part, and I would like to pass the floor to my colleague Kishan, presenting the 15 years experience and how issues and how he tackles and how he can take it in a supply chain model. So from the receivable management to the debt collection to the legal debt collection and to the cross-border collection and to the credit benchmarking, but in the cross-border level. Thank you. I wish that it did add value. And of course, I'll be more delighted to answer any question end of it or right after the beautiful session we're enjoying today. So Kishan, please take it from you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ayman. Hello, everyone. This is Kishan Rupani here. I am the cross-border operations manager at AW Holding International. And I would like to give an explanation that why cross-border operations is important. As mentioned, that international trade countries trying to grow, the trades are increasing. That's why we encourage our clients to focus on their core business and while we take care of their cross-border collections. Over the past 15 years, our journey across border has given us more than just global presence. It has also built deep insight of debt recoveries across the diverse market, navigating complex markets, building local expertise, amicable to legal escalations, cross-border coordination. We specialize in managing multi-country portfolios, offering seamless coordination across languages, time zones, other countries. We have gained first-hand experience with the legal, cultural, and regulatory landscape of more than 150 plus countries, helping clients to recover dues even in challenging countries as well. Why cross-border matters? Tap into the new customer bases and expand your market reach. So unlock opportunities in untapped regions by reaching new customers and sectors. Reduce reliance on a single market. Reduce dependency on single economy or market. A separated portfolio across countries helps balance performance during local downturns and access new ideas, technologies, and talent. Exposure to different market allows you to tap into diverse business practices, technologies, and skilled professionals. Uh, and what are the key challenges? I would say information gaps on foreign partners, limited access is available. That makes difficult to access the credibility and risk of international clients or datas. Complex legal and regulator landscapes, navigating various laws, country requirements, and enforcement procedures. Currency fluctuation, exchange rate volatility can impact profitability, while differing banking system and local practices often result in delays or inconsistent payments as well. The international part from start to finish about the due diligence, evaluating opportunities, collection, amicable, legal, and cross-border. So due diligence through background checks on the clients or datas before engaging in any business. To verify through trade license copy or physical presence. Evaluating opportunities, identify realistic collection or recovery prospects based on facts and strategy, determine willingness and ability to pay, leverage local intelligence to evaluate recovery chances, aligned recover strategy with the client expectation and timeline. With regards to the collection, amicable, legal, and cross-border. Amicable collection, initiate direct negotiation with the daters, payment reminders, follow-ups. Legal collection, when amicable attempts are failed, initiate the legal proceedings, issue formal demand notices, the file court claims, or involve enforcement agents. Cross-border collection, manage international debt collection through global partner networks, adapt to local collection laws, languages, and cultures, navigate cross-jurisdiction enforcement challenges as well. This is why cross-border collection is important when you're dealing internationally and globally as well. Thank you so much, everyone. This is from our side, and we are always there and available to help to everyone globally. And also, we can provide the complimentary services from our side as well. And just to conclude, I would like to have Mr. Ayman to conclude this session from our side.
Okay, thank you, Kishan. It is a Friday, the last working day in the week, and we wish that everyone had a productive, successful week and a good closing as we talk and good plans for the weekend. Webinars, it is about just a high-level understanding and actually just to address high-level elements. I believe there is beyond the 20 or like a 1 hour webinar, actually things can be supported. I believe we have a corporate responsibility to empower economies, empower startup, empower SMEs all over the globe, everyone on his side and from his expertise. And as such, I'm delighted just to offer complimentary advisory for whoever would like just to enter the region, or he already in the region got some instability, or he would like to expand and he would like to evaluate the risk out of any cost. And this is, we feel, a corporate responsibility to enhance our economy and put the right outlook to the people getting to the economy. We are in Dubai, we are in the GCC and in the MENA region, but actually from even Dubai to Abu Dhabi, there are some credit understanding. So what about Dubai and Saudi Arabia or Oman and Qatar? So it is, we believe it is our duty to give a hand for whoever who would like just to get to the region. Thank you again, trusting us, adding value. I wish every one take some takeaways, make a difference in his cross-border risk handling. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ayman. I would like to open the Q&A session. All right. There's a question to you, Mr. Al-Wadi. I plan to start exporting abroad. How can I come to know that my potential customer is reliable?
Right. This is what I said. You cannot understand everything. You need a partner, because in each region there are different type of information. You need actually the information, transparency of information. It is not always there. So sometimes you need to understand, like a United Arab Emirates, in case and as such, there is actually a credit bureau. Would you be able to get those information through them if you got a consent from your client? If you go to Saudi Arabia or Oman or Qatar, so number one, you need actually source of information, and you go and search. If you get a right partner, he will let you know that go for this source. This is a real source you can depend on if those are important. So information. And it is, as you said, Yusuf, like don't sleep till, but before you go, don't sleep, you need to get information, know who you're dealing with. And sometimes it's not a must that to go yourself to trips and to meet. It is good, of course, but beginning of it, you need to have your own partner evaluating in that region your business model and the worthiness of the parties you're gonna deal with. So if there are cases against him, how many cases? Because sometimes even you might have a good one to deal with, whereas there are cases against him. But what actually the learning is, you will be surprised that he's filing more cases against the other to collect his money, because that indication, if there are a few cases under him, it is old-fashioned credit that, oh, don't deal with. No, he is actually, this is very much normal if there is a dispute. So the litigation, it is not a benchmark to do not deal with. So back to the point, I would love to elaborate more, but find a trusted partner to give you source of information, number one. Number two, the legal condition and terms, which jurisdiction for you. Some of them, they're going to put like arbitration in Singapore or in London. Would you be afford if there is a valid dispute to fund these? So you need actually like a legal opinion in the condition and terms. Very much important, because they can put like a jurisdiction where you cannot afford the cost of it. If they're putting like a 3, 4, 5, 6 arbitrators, and actually you end up with like 50, 100,000 US dollar, it's nonsense. So again, this is where there is no way just to put all these hats. You need a partner to give you that advice. Going on the credit, how you will evaluate his credit, regardless now the information and what type of information, this is something else, but how you would evaluate his credit to give him like 100,000 US dollar, or like a million, or a 10,000 US dollar. So this is what you may have a successful business. You may enter a region where actually at a later stage, investor, they said you got a bad region, bad compliance, bad legal. No, you haven't done your homework before entering that region, and it is everything, it is in place. So information and legal and compliance and credit. Once you get those, you can start and have a right partner if we can present you all with that. So just like to handle the whatever cost and transfer these knowledge and advisory. I wish it meet the answer the audience asking the question for.
No, it's very comprehensive indeed. So all right, this one has been answered. Startups can end up with credits. How we can protect founders and avoid sabotaging their reputation while they are just pre-revenue? Is there any thought on that? This is with startups. That means that how we can, like they are in the initial stages where credit for them is important because they have not started yet making any revenue. How being a startup and maybe they are paying up late, how we can protect their operations? Maybe the thoughts from both of you, both Mr. Ayman and within the international, and also Josef within the local scene.
Fine. From the international part,
Yeah.
Mr. Yusuf, go ahead.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Go ahead. You
Fine.
first.
So, you know, like how many unicorns in the history came from Silicon Valley? A lot. And there is even like a website like a graveyard for these like unicorns. For past the 20 years, you know how many unicorn came out of the region where we are in the GCC and the Middle East. If you look at it, it is just an idea linked with technology, as simple as that. So the investors, and they need a credit, and they need actually host. So we've been in a lot of consultancy sessions advising the funders, because they know that these startup can, and it has possibility to end up with a chain of branches in different regions, and you never know, it will fly to be a unicorn. So the funders, we will advise the funders, there is a considerable margin of risk. And as such, how to evaluate the risk versus the fund, where it is the credit and the fuel and the blood to the startup. So it is about the due diligence of the concept itself, and what is short, medium, long term, and the risk associated. So the fund, we advise actually those young generation, the future of us and the world, the startups, that actually do not do everything yourself. Number one, when you go for raising fund, you need to use a proper campaigns to land up with the right funders, and you need to put like a serious benchmark to your business model, and you do not put all the hats and try just to focus in your model. So by the time you go explaining the potential, you would explain to the funder the risk. If you manage to explain the risk to the funders, they would go wherever it. And this is what actually we went through. Yusuf, please. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. In fact, you have answered, in my opinion, that question very, very, very thoroughly, very well. The only thing which I would add to what you have said is keep in mind when you are a startup that cash flow is much important, more important rather than revenue, because we are talking about cash flow, and you cannot run a business if you run out of cash. So it is extremely important, as Ayman have said, that you analyze the risks, that you are adequately financed, because credit is risky and credit costs money, and therefore you need to be adequately financed. That's the only thing which I would add to what Ayman have said. Well done, Ayman. I'm 100% with you.
Thank you, my dear. I got like a little thing when I do workshop for SMEs, especially as SMEs and a startup. I said, your idea, it can be a Bugatti, $7 million, but you don't have the fuel. So the Bugatti you cannot drive, you cannot like enjoy till you put the fuel, and the fuel is the cash liquidity. They got a great model and it should work, but something kill that Bugatti, the liquidity, the cash liquidity. Thank you, Yusuf.
I cannot agree with you more.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll have more questions. It's well because it shows that it has been a very interesting discussion. One is addressed to Mr. Kishan Rupani. You mentioned currency fluctuations. It is something which we are experiencing significantly when exporting abroad. How do you help in tackling it?
Yes, definitely. How we can help you to tackle the currency fluctuation is the longer an invoice remains unpaid, there is a high chance of exposure to currency volatility. This So we push for the faster settlements, especially in stable currency timelines. For example, before expected devaluation of rate swings. This helps to lock in your expected value sooner and reduction the FX impact. And through our local teams and partners in 150 plus countries, we collect in local currency to ease the data resistance, then convert and remit back to you efficiently. This gives you better exchange rates and fewer delays, especially in the restricted markets as well. And if the client is unable to pay in full immediately, we help with the structure, like shorter payments intervals monthly instead of quarterly, split currency arrangement, example, part in local and part in USD or euros as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is another question. In case of clients who end up not paying, the person is saying that they've been told that taking them to court harms their business reputation instead of flagging the fraudulence one. And the person is asking what's the full picture about this.
I think it's both locally, if we're talking about the local market, and also when we're talking about and cross-border transactions, taking your customer to court should be the last resort. You should have in place a credit policy whereby it states when and how or when actions will be taken and what type of actions will be taken. For example, first you should call your customer, you should understand why the customer is paying late. You should sit down with that customer to try and negotiate new credit terms with the customer. You can obviously send emails or letters, traditional letters. We used to call them dunning letters, collection letters, in other words. And taking the customer to court should be the very last resort. First of all, to keep the cost as low as possible. And secondly, yes, not to tar the reputation of the customer. However, if that customer is a fraudulent customer, obviously you have to take drastic actions and take him to court. However, I don't know whether abroad, there are some places which exist this type of procedure. Here in Malta, we have it through MACM, through our organization. You can, before taking the customer to court, you can report that overdue, you report that customer to the organization. In this case, it's MACM, it's my organization, so that the rest of the members, the rest of the suppliers would know that this particular customer pays late. And therefore, it helps you to get paid yourself, because before that customer pays his due or her dues to the supplier, reporting that due, they will not be granting them credit. And that's why credit circles, I already referred to them earlier on in my presentation, credit circles are extremely important. Obviously, these credit circles do this job very meticulously, obeying laws and legislation and also regulations, including GDPR. So all of this procedure should adhere, should be compliant with all the relative laws and all the relative regulations.
I cannot hold myself. I need to tell this is like a very much important question, and a question from someone I believe got something similar. I have an advice here. When you do your business, startup or like a trade or like investment, and when you go abroad or even on a domestic level, you need to put a budget for the litigation. Legal collection, it is a part. And as an expert, I witness for the past, let's say, not less than 15 years, increase in the debtors, I need to call them in the right way, debtors, where they don't have the willingness to pay. As an example, not limited, a funny story, one of the officer in charge collectors, the debtor sent him the location map of the court. He said, this is the location map, click on it, go to the court and sue me. So these type of things means you need, actually you are in a very much critical T-junction, either to write off, which is a disaster for hitting your B&L and your cash flow, or you need to accept the fact the litigation, it is part of the collection, and you need to keep a budget. And if you don't have the budget, try to work with partner, they funding, and partner, they do MBL, they can buy those, but you cannot ignore the fact that those type of bad well debtors, they are like there always. So it is something important just to keep a budget for the litigation. And for the reputational risk, I understand. I gave one advisor like more than like 15 years back to one of the telecommunication company in one of the regions. They said, we cannot file a case because it is like it is a small ticket size. So it is $10 to $1,000. So the advice I've been in that board, that we need to publish that we taking them to the court, and it is not a shame. And gradually over the 5 years, the society understand this is a public money you need to pay back. And even if it's like $100, they're gonna take me to the court. So education. So I'm not seeing a reputational damage when someone practicing his right. In fact, the debtor should be ashamed, not the creditor. Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you have time, we have another 2 more questions. It shows that the webinar has generated.
I'm yours today. Me and my team. I'm Yusuf, and Yusuf, of course. We will be happy to attend as much as they still asking. For us, I believe it's a Friday. No plans till we finish this today.
Thank you. So one person asked, within the United Arab Emirates having a dense expatriate population, how important is it for lenders and banks to build a legal framework for cross-border collections? And from what it appears, AW Holding is specialized in this, and they want to hear your perspective.
I'll endorse this to the right expert, Mr. Kishan.
Yes. So to answer, within UAE, being home to highly mobile, multicultural expat population, the risk of that flight is significantly higher than in many other regions. That's why it's absolutely essential for banks and lenders to establish a comprehensive legal framework for cross-border collection. And to precise more, about when expats leave the UAE with unpaid liabilities. Local judgments often don't apply automatically in their home countries. Our legal network helps pursue debtors beyond borders, be it through amicable or legal routes. Because of our presence in UAE and abroad, we can act as a bigger bridge between the jurisdiction, given lenders. Like it can result into faster turnarounds, local coordination with the global execution as well. For UAE, for lenders in UAE, building a cross-border legal framework isn't just important; it's also a kind of necessity.
Thank
I
you.
would like just to add top of
Yeah.
like as I would like just to add like top of like how we became big and successful story at we've done. How we created 15 years back the 150 country approach within compliance end-to-end encrypted platforms, because we do have 24 plus nationality living in peace together. And here, personally, as Ayman today, when someone decided to leave the country, he's not a criminal, by the way. He got difficulty, and it is his right when he feel like a normal reaction to leave the country. And this is now the us and actually our clients to take a call, write it off, or flip this net profit as a write-off to net net loss to net profit through actually the last years of like what we went through. um the debtor, as we said, the debtors, the business has no borders, and even the debtors can fly, and I respect their decision on that. So I witnesses myself along with my cross-border team. A debtor got from XYZ from the GCC, went home, second home allowing second citizenship, went to World Cup projects in Qatar, then to Saudi. At the time now, there's booming all these projects, and now back in Dubai again. So you need actually to understand that don't give up. And actually, this is actually the solution, because there is a percentage for you, startup guys. You need just to put a budget of a skipper that the situation bigger than the debtor, so he skip. So this is a budget and actually a concern and something you need to keep in mind. There's a percentage, so it go from short term, medium term to long term. So if you fly home country, second country, third country, the cross border, like within compliance, should be bringing to you back this. But you should not give up. Go to legal and go cross border.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayman. Another question: how is automation and AI transforming credit management, and where should companies begin their digital journey? I think all of you have something to contribute on this.
I think this is a very intelligent question. We are currently being bombarded, I would say, with information about AI and automation in credit management. In my opinion, we should start with the day-to-day tasks. Our day-to-day tasks can be easily done through AI, through automation, because they are routine systems, they are procedures, and they can be easily done through automation, and that's okay, that's fine. One thing which I would like to mention is e-invoicing. Everyone is speaking about e-invoicing, whereby the creditor send an invoice electronically, the customer will pay electronically, the VAT will go directly to the taxman. You will receive your payment in your bank. Everything will be adjusted accordingly, and it will save a lot of resources. Therefore, automation and AI is the way forward in all businesses everywhere around the world. And we should deploy as much as possible AI and automation. However, when it comes to credit management, because credit management, the credit function, is a people's function. It is extremely important, and I mentioned it in my presentation, that communication, building good customer relationship is key. It is critical. And in my opinion, maybe because I'm getting old, in my opinion, no AI, no automation should replace that human interaction between the supplier and the customer. Therefore, although I agree 100% that automation and AI should do a lot of work for the credit function, for the day-to-day processes, for other functions as well, to analyze the credit worthiness, to let us know whether there are changes in the customer's portfolio. That's fine, that's good. But the human element should never should always be there, and no other AI or IT or whatever should take the place of human interaction, because human interaction is extremely important, and the credit function is a people's function. In fact, I always suggest that we are living in 2025. Credit management is not sitting after a desk crunching numbers. You should go out, you should go and meet your customer. Ayman mentioned this earlier on in his presentation. You should go, you should listen, you should see where your customer is. You should listen to the needs of your customer, and no AI and no other innovation or IT can take the place of human interaction. Maybe I'm getting old, but in my opinion, the human interaction should stay there. It is extremely important, especially in credit management.
Human being, actually, they're putting the rules to the AI to get what they are after, in fact. So human, there is no way just to eliminate. But I got here an advice. As I said, I got no commercial goal today. I would really be happy if I heard that someone called back and he said, well, Ayman, I got one of these opinion and it did work with me. So I would give my personal advice as Ayman in my personal capacity. Any business nowadays depend on to many, but actually in particular, there are two things. which is the right team members, the right team leadership. Okay, right after and along with that, technology. So I went through a lot of like business models in high level due to the confidentiality. I can give a taste of it that they would like just to e-commerce. They need to sell in a spot and online, and how you would evaluate the credit within the second the user will click, and how much you may need to link this with the credit insurance to cover whatever out of the control risk. So technology is important, my dearest startup and SMEs. Think that it is not a way of replacing. It is a way of just to make things easier and faster. You cannot compete without technology and advanced technology and AI and innovation. Very much important. And I can remind myself that I went through a successful model where actually they selling online and e-commerce, and they said, how can we evaluate the credit within seconds? So no, there is a way, and they should consider and think over, depend region-wise, business model-wise, a good or a service. I'm talking generally as a disclaimer, please. Thank you, Yusuf. We are not getting old, by the way. We're still young.
Sorry, thank you. We've come to the close of today's sessions. We've answered a lot of questions, which shows the interest that this webinar has generated. I would like to thank all our speakers, Mr. Josef Busuttil, Mr. Ayman Al-Wadi, and Mr. Kishan Rupani for their valuable insights. I would also like to thank Ms. Rana Walid for her coordinating role within AW Holding International. My thanks also goes to Michael Gallia, our president, for his introductory remarks and for always finding time for us in his very busy schedule, and to our corporate partner, Bank of Valletta, for supporting this initiative. A special thank you goes to our team here at the Chamber and to our technical coordinator, Richard Gregg. What today's discussion has shown is that credit management is not only essential for business survival, but also for growth, both locally and internationally. We speak of globalization and the effects that digitalization has brought with it means that even if you are located on a small island of Gozo, you can do business internationally. But that entails risks. And today's insights have shown that you can go for this, you can export abroad, you can import from abroad, but it is important that you know what you are doing. We hope that this session has provided you with practical takeaways and ideas to strengthen your operations. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to welcome you to our next event. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.